Do you remember the smell of your school cafeteria on a busy lunch day? That warm, tangy scent of onions and meat hitting the pan, soft bread stacked in trays, and the chatter of kids moving down the line? Today, I'm trying to recreate this classic 1980s school lunch, the Sloppy Joe. Have you ever had one? Did it drip over your tray? Or did you try to catch every last bit with a fork? In the 1980s, school lunches were never about perfection or presentation. They were about filling hungry students quickly, affordably, and consistently. Ground beef or pork, diced onions, ketchup, a touch of mustard, sugar, and vinegar came together to make the messy, flavorful sauce that defined the Sloppy Joe. Soft sandwich bread held it all together, while simple sides, golden fried potatoes, steamed vegetables, or canned fruit completed the tray. Each compartment of the tray was like a miniature scene: the main course, the starch, the veggies, the fruit, and sometimes milk, all forming a complete meal. Walking through the cafeteria line, the smell alone drew kids forward. Some trays were neatly arranged, but most were gloriously sloppy sauce spilling over the edges, glistening in warm light, making every bite unpredictable. Some students would tilt their trays slightly to see which sandwiches had the most sauce. Others whispered about swapping a piece of fruit or a potato. The chatter, laughter, and tiny competitions over the best Sloppy Joe made the cafeteria feel alive, turning an ordinary lunch into a small daily adventure everyone looked forward to. That imperfection was part of the excitement. The first bite mixed the tangy sauce, tender meat, and soft bread in a way that felt indulgent and fun. Did your Sloppy Joe ever overflow onto your tray? Comment below. I'd love to hear how messy or perfect your lunch used to be. Even the simplest ingredients had a rhythm. Onions would sizzle in a hot pan, meat browned to perfection, and the sauce thickened just enough to coat every piece. Bread was lightly warmed so it could soak up the sauce without falling apart. The sides were just as important. Potatoes fried to golden crispness, vegetables blanched to retain their bright color, and fruit in syrup added a sweet touch to the tray. Each of these elements together created a sensory memory: smells, colors, textures, all blending with the chatter of the cafeteria. What made the Sloppy Joe truly unforgettable was not just the flavor, but the experience surrounding it. The clanging trays, the laughter of friends, the shared anticipation while waiting for your turn, these details became inseparable from the meal itself. I'm trying to capture some of that feeling today as I recreate this tray. Have you ever tried to make a Sloppy Joe at home like your school did? How close did it taste to what you remember? Different schools had small variations too. Some used more ketchup to make the meat sweeter. Others added a touch more mustard for tang. The meat might be beef in one cafeteria, pork in another. Even minor changes in cooking time or sauce thickness could make a big difference. But no matter the variation, every Sloppy Joe shared the same essence: messy, tangy, rich, and satisfying. Beyond the flavor, the sandwich captured the rhythm of school life. Children ate quickly, sometimes with forks, sometimes with fingers. The hum of lockers slamming, announcements over the PA system, and laughter bouncing off walls all accompanied the meal. For many students, this sandwich was a highlight, delivering comfort, satisfaction, and a sense of belonging amid the chaos. Even decades later, the memory remains. The first bite, the warm meat soaking into bread, the tang of the sauce, and the soft crunch of a side potato or vegetable, these are the small but vivid details that people remember. Recipes changed, schools modernized, and fast food became more common. Yet the memory of Sloppy Joes persists in the minds of those who grew up with them. And yet, for all the nostalgia, I'm trying it today for the first time in my kitchen. Recreating this school lunch isn't just about the recipe, it's about capturing the sights, smells, and messy charm that made it so special. Can you imagine the excitement of seeing the tray arrive, friends watching, sauce spilling slightly, and everyone eager to dive in? Many schools adapted the recipe slightly to suit budgets and tastes. Some added a bit more sugar to the sauce, others a little more vinegar for tang. Bread could be soft or slightly toasted, potatoes crisp or soft, vegetables blanched to perfection or simply steamed. No two trays were exactly alike, but each delivered the same feeling, a hot, hearty, and slightly chaotic meal. And maybe that's why people still remember it so clearly. It wasn't just food, it was a ritual, a shared experience, a memory embedded in the sounds, smells, and small imperfections of everyday school life. That messiness, the overflowing sauce, and the indulgent warmth of the meat all contributed to the sense of excitement, camaraderie, and comfort that a sloppy Joe brought to the cafeteria. If this brings back a memory for you, or if your school had its own version, please share it in the comments. How did your cafeteria serve it? Did your tray always stay neat? Or was it gloriously sloppy? I'd love to read your stories and see how many of us remember these school lunches in vivid detail. And if you enjoy diving into forgotten meals and school comfort foods from the past, don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Every tray tells a story, every recipe carries a memory, and recreating these dishes is a way to bring a piece of the past back to life.